Hello students. Students, today we will study a new chapter, and that is anatomy of flowering plants. First of all, you should know what is the meaning of the term anatomy. Anatomy means the study of internal structure of an organism. Now here, first of all, we will study about tissue. What is tissue? In your previous class, in class 9, you have studied about tissue. Tissue is group of cells. These group of cells can be similar or dissimilar. So it is the group of cells which have the common origin. Their origin is common and they perform a common function. So tissue is a group of cell which performs a common function and have a common origin. That is called a tissue. Now this tissue can be classified into two categories. The first one is the meristematic tissue and the second one is permanent tissue. So the plant tissue can be classified into two categories, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Now what is the difference between the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue? Meristematic tissue is that tissue in which the cells have the ability of division. They persist the ability to divide. So that tissue will be called as meristematic tissue. And here permanent tissue is that tissue where the cell has lost the ability to divide and now they will perform some specific function. So that tissue will be called as permanent tissue. So here we saw that tissue is the group of cells. They have common origin and perform a similar function. This tissue, plant tissue, is classified into two categories, meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. Now, we should know the term meristem. Now, what is meristem? There is specialized area in the plant where the meristematic tissue is present, and that specialized area is known as meristem. So, let's see its definition. Specialized area in the plant body. These are the specialized area in the plant where they possess the meristematic tissue, and that specialized area is known as meristems. Now we can do the classification of meristems on the basis of the origin in life and on the basis of their position in the plant body. First of all, we will see the classification of meristem on the basis of origin in life of a plant when they originated in the plant. They can be classified as primary meristem or secondary meristem. So this classification, primary and secondary meristem, is based on the basis of origin in life of a plant. If it appears early in life, it will be called as primary meristem. But if it appears later in life, it will be called as secondary meristem. So there is difference between primary and secondary. The primary meristem is one which appears early in life, and secondary meristem is that which appears later in life. Second thing is, primary meristem is responsible for the formation of the primary plant body. The primary plant body is formed due to the primary meristem, while the secondary meristem is responsible for producing secondary tissue. Clear? So primary meristem is that meristem which appear early in the life, and secondary meristem is that which appears later in life as compared to the primary meristem. Second, we can see on the basis of position in the plant body, we can classify meristem as apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. First of all, apical meristem. Apical meristem is that meristem which is present at the tips of stem, roots and branch. So that meristem will be called as apical meristem. And this apical meristem is responsible for the primary growth of the plant body. This primary meristem can further classified into two types, root apical meristem and shoot apical meristem. If the apical meristem is present at the tip of the root, it will be called as root apical meristem. And if it is present at the tip of the shoot, it will be called as shoot apical meristem. Both of these meristem will lead to the elongation, or they will increase the length of the root and shoot. The second one is intercalary meristem. So intercalary meristem is present between the mature tissue. Mature tissue means permanent tissue. So these are always present between the mature tissue, and these two tissue, apical meristem and intercalary meristem, appears in the early life. So they are also a type of primary meristem. So just see here, it is present between the mature tissue, that is the permanent tissue, and it adds the length of the plant or organ. It is responsible for the elongation of the plant body or the particular organ. Clear? For example, grasses. In grasses we can see the intercalary meristem. The herbivores, they just graze. While grazing, what happens? They just eat the plant part. Clear? So to regenerate, what happens? The intercalary meristem is responsible. The third one is the lateral meristem. This meristem is present at the lateral side, and it is responsible for increase in the girth of the plant. Present along the lateral sides of the roots and shoot of many plants. Okay, so this is present at the lateral side. Suppose this is the stem, so it will be present at the lateral sides. It increases the girth of the stem, it increases the thickness of the stem, and it is responsible for producing the secondary xylem, secondary phloem, cork, secondary cortex. Clear? So these are the three types of meristem which is based on the position: apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. So in this part we have studied what is a tissue. Tissue is a group of cells which have a common origin and performs a common function. This tissue, in case of plant tissue is classified into two categories: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, where the cell have the ability to divide, while in permanent tissue the cell have lost the ability of division. It can be classified on the basis of their origin and on the basis of their position. On the basis of origin, the meristems are of two types: primary meristem and secondary meristem. Primary meristem are those which appear early in the life, and secondary meristems are those which appear later in the life. On the basis of position, the meristems are of three types: apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. These two meristem, apical and intercalary, they are related to the increase in the length of the plant body, whereas the lateral meristem is responsible for increase in the girth of the plant body. In my next video, we will study about the permanent tissue. Thank you.